Agency in Motion continuing education series brought to you by Millionaire Mindset Life. This series is specifically designed for agents, producers, advisors, coaches, as well as agency builders in the financial services industry. Today's episode is all about creating a framework, not just for your clients to follow, but for something that you can follow so you understand where your clients are and what you need to get done with them so you can introduce the products and services that you sell. And more specifically, what we're talking about today is a 90-day financial fitness track that you can introduce to your clients. Like I said, gives them a track to run on, but also gives your business a track to run on to understand what's next, what you need to do with this client, and how to introduce the products and services into the fitness track at the appropriate time. Really, there are, over the course of 90 days, there are 12 tasks that we want to look at over the 90-day period to get this built, get this implemented, get the plan of action in place, and then start to execute, reflect, and measure what exactly is happening. So in week one, this is all about just starting out. We need to, for our clients, assess their current financial situation to figure out exactly where we are. There are a couple tasks in week one. Task number one is understanding the income and the expenses of the client. So we need to assess their current income sources, and then we need to calculate the average monthly income to really understand what's coming in on a monthly basis for total income. Once we do that, we need to analyze for the client their expenses, and we help them categorize them into what we call essential and non-essential, what we have to pay, what we choose to pay. Then once we do that, we can help them calculate their total monthly expenses and determine, of course, their discretionary income, what's left over after we pay everything. And then in week one, task number two is evaluating our debt and our savings. So identify the client's outstanding debts. That's everything: credit cards, student loans, business loan, mortgage, whatever it is. Everything has to be identified in this track. And then once we identify the debts, we calculate the total amount owed for each debt and determine the interest rates and, if possible, the total interest percentage. Remember, interest rates are a little deceiving. How much total interest are we paying as well? And then once we're able to do that, we can assess the current savings and determine what amount of emergency fund we need and how much of that is saved. One of the first things we have to do is get an emergency fund saved, because if we don't, and we go on to these next steps, the first emergency comes up, they don't have money to pay for it. It's going back into debt, doing all the things that we do not want to do. Once we're out of week one, we're moving into week two. Week two is all about helping your client create a budget. There's a couple tasks in week number two. Task number three is building a monthly budget. You need to teach the clients the importance of budgeting and its role in achieving financial fitness. It is amazing how many people do not even have budgets. They just have money come in, money go out. They have no idea what's going on. Budgeting is that first thing, and that it's a big importance of the role that it takes in financial fitness. Once we have the budget in place, we need to identify budgeting techniques, and there's different ones, and your client gets to choose the one that suits their preferences. And then once that's in place, once they've found their preferred technique, we're going to create a monthly budget based on their income, their expenses, allocating funds for savings, debt repayments, and investing. And then week two, task number four is tracking the spending. Where is the money actually going? We're helping the clients explore various budgeting tools or apps to track expenses. And then we're starting to track daily spending habits and categorize the expenses accurately. Where is the money going, so we know? And then once we know where the money's going, we can help the client reflect on their spending patterns, and I start to identify areas where they can cut back, free up that discretionary, free up that cash flow. Moving to week number three, this is all about looking at ways that we can cut expenses and increase income. In week number three, couple tasks as well. Task number five, reducing unnecessary expenses. Once we've started to look at where our money's actually going, we're analyzing and we're tracking our expenses, and we're identifying those non-essential items or services, things we choose to pay, to see what can possibly be cut. It's not about restricting the lifestyle, but it is about freeing up cash flow. Develop strategies that can help cut back on discretionary spending without sacrificing the necessities, and then implement cost savings measures such as meal planning, couponing, negotiating bills. The more cash flow we're able to free up, the more cash flow that can go into debt repayment asset accumulation, protection, those other areas that you're servicing, that you have products that you can sell. And then task number 6, how do we make additional income? Exploring some additional income sources. Help your clients discover potential ways to increase their income, such as part-time jobs or freelancing. This is not about forcing somebody to do something that they don't want to do. This is about finding ways they can make money that aligns with their passions, what they would be able and willing to do. Assess their skills and interests to find opportunities for monetization, and then create a plan to pursue additional income sources during this 90-day period in this plan that we're creating for them. Moving on to week number 4, this is about setting financial goals. Remember, once we have a goal, then we can have a plan of action and execution. This is about setting that financial goal for the clients. Week number 4, task number 7, it's all about SMART financial goals. We all know what the SMART goals are: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So what we want to do is we want to work with the client, set specific financial goals for this 90-day period, considering some of the big topics: debt repayment, savings, asset investments. And we want to write down those goals and develop a plan of action to achieve them. And then task number 8, just staying motivated and accountable. Motivation is one thing, accountability is another. Most people fear or they don't like accountability because they have a negative connotation. It's definitely not. Accountability will get you to, where you want to go, to get you to the promised land. So this is about staying motivated and accountable, teaching your clients strategies to stay motivated on their financial journey. Motivation can come from different areas for different people. They've got to find it. Then it's all about also sharing those goals with a trusted friend or a family member. This helps increase accountability. You're not just keeping it to yourself. You're sharing it with other people. They'll be asking you how it's coming along. And then explore visualization techniques and create visual reminders for your goals. Vision boards are great. Remember, motivation is one thing, accountability is another. Both of those combined together is a very powerful force. And then when we move to week number 5 through 12, it's all about just implementing and refining the plan. Once the plan's in place, we're executing the plan, finding our strengths, our weaknesses, areas that we can improve, and other areas that maybe we don't need in the plan. Task number 9, prioritizing debt repayment. Choose a debt repayment strategy. We use the best one that I've ever known and encountered. You guys can ask us about that if you're interested. We have a free Convert Debt to Wealth online trainings, webinars, master classes to learn about this strategy and then apply it to your debts. What we're really doing is we're unlocking the power of somebody's money, and we're teaching them how to win the money game, beat the banks at their own game, and then once we're freeing up cash flow, we can allocate a portion of that monthly discretionary income towards debt repayment. And then we can track that progress using technology, and we can celebrate the milestones along the way. Once again, celebrating the milestones, even the small ones along the way, they will add and increase the motivation that will keep them going through this process. Task number 9, building an emergency fund and saving. Once again, you have to establish the emergency fund as a financial safety net. Once that's in place, we can deploy capital to other places. Before it's in place, that's where it goes. Determine a specific monthly savings amount to contribute towards your emergency fund until it's fully funded. And then explore different saving options such as high yield savings accounts or other investment vehicles to make sure that you keep up with inflation, outpace inflation, and grow your money. Task number 11, automate whatever you can. Automate your finances and bill payments. The less that you have to do manual, the better. Set up automatic transfers to your savings accounts and on a designated day each month. Teaching your clients to automate some of this bill payment is freeing up time, and that time can be invested into other areas of their financial plan or other areas of their life. Arrange for automatic bill payments to avoid late fees or missed payments. Remember, late fees and missed payments, that's bad money management. That's going to cost you money. Monitor your bank accounts regularly to ensure automated processes are functioning correctly. And then task number 12 is just continuous learning and adjustment. Remember, personal finance, like any other skill set, takes time, energy, resources to continue to learn and eventually master. No different here. Engage in ongoing financial education through books, podcasts, online resources, more meetings with you as the advisor, coach, or agent, and reflect on your progress or your client's progress. Identify your strengths, your weaknesses, areas for improvement, and make the necessary changes or adjustments you need to really master this financial fitness plan. All we're doing is creating a roadmap for the client to follow to get them on a good route towards financial freedom. And we're creating a roadmap or framework that you understand where your client is, what you need to do with the client, and how to interject or introduce the products and services that you have for business growth, revenue, and income at the appropriate point in this financial roadmap. Agency in motion, building, operating, and managing agencies in the digital environment.